Blessings, 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 everybody out there in the universe. My name is Sean Myrie, and I'm your host of the Down to Earth podcast. Tonight, late tonight, right now, we're going to be talking about real black history. They say it's Black History Month. Black history to me is every day, it's life, world history. But we're going to get down to earth about this subject, right? We're gonna have Rastafari Samurai tap in on that spaceship, and we're gonna chop it up and get real down to earth about real stories, real history that's untold. May be controversial, but we don't care because we're down to earth, right? Like, for example, there's a story of the Black Cowboys, right? They done a movie called Posse. This was probably over 20 years ago. A little bit over, yeah, over 20 years ago. Posse, produced by Mario Van Peebles. That's a movie to watch if you want to know something about black history, real black history. The original cowboys were black. That's where they get the name from, cowboy, right? And once they're basically runaway slaves, later on they call fugitives, and they were wanted. And because they killed, a lot of the cases they killed their master, right? Their slave master, and they became fugitives. So that's part of the real I'm giving you. Bless up cities, what you saying? We're going real down to earth tonight, man. If you want to go tune in, because me and my brother Rastafari Samurai, we're going to be talking about real black history stories, what are not told about, black people. You only hear about the negative. You hear about slavery, a lot. Like, that's the only history, and to me that's just world history. So yeah, man, I'm just waiting for Rastafari Samurai to tap in. Let me see what he's saying. What are you saying, cities? Yeah, man. Let's see some real things. Yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about too. Mansa Musa. They're gonna make the movie about it, or maybe they already finished the movie, but a lot of people are going to get that insight about the history of the richest man on earth, right? Yeah, I know about that story. It's from Mali, right? West, or if you want to call it West Africa, kind of, or they say South, right? Um, but he traveled all the way to Europe, all the way to Saudi Arabia with lots of what do you call, what they say, money now, but it was like gold, diamonds, all types of stuff, all types of stuff. Very, very rich. Went back and forth from Mali to Egypt to Saudi Arabia and other places. Ruled a big empire. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that movie. How do you think the pyramids were made? Oh, that's a good question. How you think the pyramid? So people are gonna say it was slaves. People are gonna say it was aliens and stuff like that. I believe it could be, it can be us, but us at a different time of knowing ourselves. I mean, like, people are gonna think it's crazy, but like, could use the power of, like, if you want to say God, or like a certain type of power we have within ourselves to have the strength to move objects, right? To have the strength to move objects with, like, then what we can't do now. We probably can't tap into that now, especially the people from Egypt. The original people from Egypt is not the people they show you now, but the people from Egypt, right? Divine, yeah, yeah, divine. So there's people like that right now who have that that power given, what I believe, from the Most High, but they have to hide that probably now. They would call those people aliens or superhuman. If we saw somebody right now, um, pick up, like, for example, truck with no problem. Bless up, TV fam. Yeah, man. We're going to be going deep down to earth about real stories about Black history, what they don't talk about, right? Yeah, it's going to get controversial, but we don't care, right? I'm just waiting for Rastafari Samurai. If let me go see. I'm sending this up. What are you saying? What are you saying, Frost? Let's see. Let's see where he's at. I know you know about them things. Should invite you on, man. What are you saying, brother? Rastafari Samurai is gonna tap in and talk about all types of stuff. What a lot of people don't like to talk about. Jesus is black. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's true. Wait, you want to tap in? Let me send this to you, brother. Let me send this to you, man. Let me send this to you. Yeah, well, in South America, they have the Black Madonna, and they have it hanged up all in the homes all through South America. Yeah, all through South America, man. What are you saying?
Yeah, my phone's gonna die still.
Oh, all right. Just a little intro, yo. We're talking about the real Black history. So there's so
Yeah.
You have any stories we should talk about? Me and my brother, I'm just waiting for him. Which story?
Real Black history. I don't know, man. You know, there's so many. Like, you know, human history is Black history. Like,
Exactly.
everything. Listen, there was a time where there was only shades of brown on the planet. There was like, you know what I'm saying, melanated people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. Yeah.
That brown paper bag color that they had during slavery. That was the, you know, if you were lighter than a brown paper bag, you had privileges and shit. That was the dark. That was the lightest color on the planet at one time. So all
Best
the civilizations, gang.
Mm-hmm.
My brother Rastafari.
Best guy to have on here right now to talk about this.
He's giving us some subjects before his phone.
Well, no. Continue, please.
Where was I? There's you know, the war. You know, the people who traveled the globe, circumnavigated the globe first, were known as the world's illest merchants, the sickest pirates. They were the Phoenicians.
Yeah.
Phoenicians come from where is now called Mali, Ghana, West Africa.
Yeah.
Right. And even in the Bible, you see the Phoenicians named.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you have to know that everybody in the Bible, everybody in the Old Testament is black. There's nobody in the Old Testament that is white. Those people were still in caves in the Old Testament. You know what I'm saying? That's just for the Bible people who, you know,
wait, hold on a minute. So from what you're saying, what my pop said one time, Caucasians are the true cave people.
I mean, and if you break down the science of things, right? You know, the scientific breakdown is that the only way that a human organism, which is us, we're human organisms, can lose melanin is to be away from the sun for over 16 generations.
16 generations, yeah. 16
okay?
generations.
And this is scientific fact.
Listen to the name, how we put it, 16 generations, generating.
So that means evolution had to happen, meanwhile, being in those caves.
No, there's no evolution. Humans don't evolve.
You know what I mean by evolution? You know what I mean by evolution?
Hear what he said.
No, but that we're gonna call it what it is adaptation. Adapted to their environment. Yeah.
Maybe I'm using the wrong words.
Yeah, because when you say evolution, there's only we all think of one thing when we think of evolution, and no, humans don't evolve. Yeah. Maybe our minds evolve, but our bodies just adapt.
We adapt of the earth on how it's been changing.
Yes.
So like I say that to say this. if we were in Africa on top of the land, enjoying the sun, worshiping God, and being civilized and creating things that better the human race, what were they doing in the caves for 16 generations? That's just a rhetorical question. We're not going to talk about that because we're going to focus on us.
Yeah.
That's not really the topic right now.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's a food for thought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So as we were, here's another fact. Here's a fun fact. You know when they say the Dark Ages? The Dark Ages?
Yes.
So the Dark Age of Europe was the golden age of Africa. You know what I'm saying? The golden age.
True. Yeah.
So that's the age when Mansa Musa was the world's richest man ever. And they talk about Mansa Musa a lot because everybody want money, but they don't know the reason why he got his wealth is because his brother was the real king, and he was a warrior and an adventurer. And he said, you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna build 5,000 ships and sail to go and see their family across the big water, which was the Atlantic Ocean. And the natives, the people that you see now that are saying they're natives and they're Chippewa, they're Moorish, that's how the Moors got to North America before any European, with Mansa Musa's big brother. I think his name was Abu Kari.
Could I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? No, I was saying this to my brother now. Straight up, the educational system, especially in the States, here too, but mostly in the States, has been corrupted, as in they would show certain points of history, but not showing all of it on, you know, of black history.
Well, I mean, listen. I think that the teaching in the school is the least of things because they're killing black people in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
But check this out. But it goes back to the, you know, being young and stuff like that. What you've been taught and stuff like that as well, right?
Definitely, you're right. Definitely.
Okay. Check this out now. Check this out now. If that's true, and that's been going on through the whole nation of the blacks, I'm saying the blacks, all right, miseducation, okay, on black history. Now, just maybe, if they got the realness, right, would the world be a little different in USA? The ones who grew up, not now, started growing up and then having kids and everything like that, and you know what I mean, with the right education.
I mean, definitely, we would have known that we are worth a lot more, our self-worth.
Now, you know what? Now I was saying to my brother too, now I see why it's important for these 5%ers to be doing their education to the youth then. They're always saying what the mathematics is today. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like 5 thoughts. You get what I mean? What is the positivity of the world of what you're thinking of today? You know what I mean?
Because listen, when they talk about black history, they always talk about the negative parts like slavery and all that, and the assassination of our leaders. They don't want to talk about the kingdoms,
or worse yet. You know what I was bringing up? You know what I brought up to my brother today? You know what I brought up to my brother today? I learned today. I learned about Bass Reeves. Bass Reeves,
one of the baddest gang.
No,
he's the Lone Ranger. He's the Lone Ranger, the real Lone Ranger.
No, Lawman was the Lawman. Check this out. Check this out. This is what they yo, I'm gonna say it. I don't give a fuck. Yo, check this out. You see the show The Lone Ranger long time ago? That was based off of him. Okay? I'm gonna give you a little history of what I learned. Bass Reeves was he escaped slavery back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And he went to the Oklahoma territories, Indian territories. He learned the language, the native language and stuff, right? When when the time of slavery got amalgamated, emancipation, right?
Yeah.
He got deputized and stuff like that, got to be in the marshal, and one of his right hand mans was a Native Indian. Okay, and check this out: the man only killed 14 outlaws and brought in at least 3,000 prisoners over the 35 years of service.
See? That coming like the World War II or World War One, the black soldiers, all the stories what they're starting to put out as documentaries. You hear about them taking out a lot of the German soldiers.
No, but the bottom line is what I'm trying to say is this: when they bring up black history and all of that, these stories are not being told. They're not being discussed. They're not being gratificationized. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not glorified. You get what I mean? They bring up all different little things. You get what I'm saying? But they don't bring up more different things which should be,
or which could be good news. Like, for example, the inventors. There's a lot of black inventors who are invented major things, and that's not even talked about. You have to dig for that.
Yeah,
you have to dig for that, or see something maybe on IG what somebody might have found and posted up. You're not seeing nothing. Like, there's a lot of heroes, black heroes.
Okay, here's another one. My boy was supposed to, but he, R.I.P. to my boy, Wakanda Forever. But he was supposed to do a movie of Yasuki. Yasuki is the first black samurai back in the day. Yeah. This is the first time Japanese ever seen black people. They thought,
I heard about that.
They thought the man had like tar on his skin. And they say, yo, wash that off. Try to wash it off when the emperor was buying it. And he said, no, I'm born that way. And they're like, what? He was amazed. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? Japan has some history with, like, even in the lineage too. What people don't know, because they're saying that they have, everyone has black, African some way in them. But there's the story of what's linked to the, the royal family in Ethiopia.
Yusaki was a man of African origin. He served a retainer and weapon bearer of the Japanese Daimyo Ado Nobunaga in 1579.
1579.
Yakusuki, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, arrived in Japan in the service of the Italian Jesuit missionary Alessandro. So he came with this guy as a missionary.
Yeah.
And the emperor at the time, he was amazed. He never seen a man like this before. He said, yo, I want to buy him. You get what I mean? So when he bought him, they said, yo, they're gonna train him and everything like that, be a part of, like, he became like the almost like the general of the army. Yeah, but there's a little bit more to the story. You know how family is. It was a coup and all of that and everything. They kill off the family and everything like that.
Yeah.
He tried to defend it and everything. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. You get what I mean?
Aren't they gonna do a movie on that?
They were supposed to do a movie, and my boy was supposed to play it. But I don't know what's going on with the production now.
The Black Samurai.
Yeah, the Black Samurai, yo.
But there's a lot of stories like that. Like even in Marvel, they have a lot of black superheroes. What you never heard of.
Well,
they don't talk about that even though it's fictional. They still don't talk about it.
Well, yo, man, like I said, I like to bring up some of the names of real black history heroes. Frederick Douglass.
Yeah.
Okay. You got Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
Of course, Dr. Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those are the usual ones what you're gonna always hear about. Those are the ones you're gonna always hear about.
They question George Washington being half sitting.
Yeah? So now they're saying he's mixed. George Washington probably. Because because he freed did they say he freed the slaves? So they're trying to say because
not George Washington.
Was it George Washington? No.
Not George Washington.
No.
That's The one with the beard there. Who got shot in the head.
I don't forget what his name is. Yeah. Trust me. But yeah.
The one who says America wants you.
Uncle.
No, well, that's not Uncle Sam, but no. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. Man. Good old Abe.
Is the first president? Was he the first president? Was he the first president?
George Washington.
Yeah. Abraham Lincoln. He's the one who freed the slaves. He's the one who freed the slaves.
Yeah, but that was all business.
Yeah, that was business.
Because you know how it goes in any country. Any part of the country is more richer than anything. They most likely run the country. Yeah. So they didn't like the fact that the South was getting more richer than the North. So they say, yo, listen here. Are they paying taxes? No. So wait, all y'all getting no. Listen here. They have to start. You have to free them, and they have to stop paying tax. They go, no, we can't. No. Well, then civil war here. We have to do that because how the hell you're not paying them, and you're getting free labor and not paying no taxes?
It's true. That's what brought the war.
This is United States.
It's a money.
This is United States, isn't it?
Yeah, money business. It's a whole money business.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the only reason.
And then after when Max the freedom happened, it still was fucked. Still fucked.
Black people never had the no rights until what they say rights until the 60s, until after the 60s.
They couldn't even vote.
That's why I try to explain to people black people, especially in America, had to fight for their own rights. They had to fight for their own rights. And when they fight for their own rights,
the thing is, this is the fucked up part. Why do they have to fight for their own rights when in the beginning they were brought, majority of them were brought there.
We know that, but when they established America and they made all their whatever the Constitution, they said every man's supposed to be equal and blah blah blah. We know that's
but hold on a minute. Which man is that?
Which man is that? So people, all the people,
not the black man,
and not anybody else, because if you check it, it starts with us. So when black people, and people don't want to hear this, but I'm going to say this straight up. If it wasn't for black people in America, no other people would be living comfortable in America, because you would be even less. Think of it. Black people couldn't go eat in certain places and go to certain places. Guess what? If you're other minority, you couldn't go into the white places either. You know where you had to go? Guess where you had to go? Check this. It's a money thing, right? Rock, listen, remember this. Guess if you are Asian, for example, or you're other race, guess where you had to go, Rock? If you're in the South. Where is it the white people place or the black people place?
What's that?
If you were another race and you were in the South when it was, the segregation times, which place are you allowed to go? The place where the white people were, or where the black people were, where they said colors?
You would have to go where the color people are.
All right, that's how more I hit there. Let's put this into perspective, like now what they do with laws. So this is what I mean. It's black people who fought for every single person who's not.
Listen here, man. Listen here. Listen.
If it wasn't for them,
okay. No offense to.
No one else could be in America.
You said it right there. No offense to the others, but it was always black and white. It's like you said, when it came to whatever, you have to go with the black people, not with the white people. Yeah. If you're a different race,
so guess
you have
what?
to go with the black people.
So check this. You think they could have that now? Wouldn't black people be making a lot of money from everybody else coming to their place? So guess you have to stop the segregation, because by stopping segregation, the money is shared with white people, with everybody. You hear what I'm saying, Rock? Now, when you have segregation now, that stops money, because the black community used to spend in their community more because they were forced to spend in their community, have their own banks, have their own theater, have their own this and that, right? But now, when they broke it up, people think it's good. Black people's business, they lost more independence. They start going to more other people's business, and that's what happens now, right? You always complain about how black people don't support each other, right? Isn't that what we hear about all the time? So what do you think about that now, what I said there? Segregation, what would have made probably black people more successful in America? then uh, have it all together. Let's be straight, because Marcus Garvey was saying that we need our own this, we need our own that. Black people now, look at it now. You don't really have your own nothing. You have a couple millionaires and so, but I mean, like, running anything in the world? No. So, as we talk about, like, another movie, for example, it's a true story, Posse. Remember Posse?
Oh, yeah. Posse.
Okay, this is an example. When you think of a cowboy, what do you think of now? No, we know what a cowboy, we know what it is, but what do most people think of a cowboy? A white guy on the horse, right? But listen to the name, Cowboy. Listen to that name. It's an old-fashioned name. Who was the cowboy?
I know.
This, I'm gonna say it, the cowboy taking care of the cow. They used to cut. You know that name. What a lot is offensive. Boy, it's another way for degrading a black man, right? So the cowboys used to take care of the cows wherever the cows were, right? And when they became runaway slaves, they became fugitives, right? And that's why they call them cowboys. Posse. You watch that movie. A lot of those the people who they say were cowboys, these black cowboys, they were runaway slaves. And didn't they have a native guy with them? Remember later on in was it Posse? Yeah, Posse. Yeah, that's a historical movie. You had the Ku Klux Klan in there, but the cowboys were black.
Yep. That's right.
It's not like a phenomenon. This was a normal thing. They just, in Hollywood, they made it like the cowboy is the hero. Like the Long Ranger, for example, the Long Ranger you're talking about.
Yep.
That is the perfect example. The Long Ranger is the Posse movie. And people should go watch that movie, because I notice a lot of people, especially this generation and even a little older, they don't even know about movies from the 90s. That's weird, guy. Like we would watch movies from before our time. Like they have even CB4 when we were talking about CB4 the other day. People don't know what CB4 is. A lot of people still don't know, and that's with some big actors in it, with Chris Rock and them in it, and stuff like that. So, like, what else black heroes you found out about, or black history? What people don't really talk about?
I remember there's one thing I just seen right here. Ella Fitzgerald back in the day, 1954, when she couldn't be booked in a club there. Marilyn Monroe was a friend of hers. She sat in the front, and all of a sudden, she got discovered.
That's how Hollywood kind of changed too, because the white celebrities had like some black friends, and they wanted to, and they got influence from them, and they wanted them in the spotlight. So that's what they would do. They would kind of endorse them.
Yeah.
Like if they had a show, they would go to their shows only, more than like going to like other shows where not black people. Yeah, that's what was going on. That's what made, remember, even rock and roll, that's how rock and roll was created for, like, I would say, the white population, because you would see black art, a lot of them would go to, like, black, what do you say, dance halls?
Yeah.
And watch, like, that was the start of integration, but it was illegal. There would be people who are from, like, white, what do I say, communities, some of them would visit, black communities where they had dances and stuff, but it was illegal. Like, that wasn't really sanctioned, but people are doing it. That's why rock and roll became created. People they were watching how the black
see what they doing, how they do it.
And after they brought that back, and after then slowly, that's how integration happened, through art, through music. Let's be straight up. If you know the story of rock and roll with Elvis, and it goes back to the South too, and like American history, that's how integration started. Music. If it wasn't for the music, maybe it would have still been even worse. People are listening, like remember Elvis was listening to black gospel singers and stuff like that, black singers. That's how Elvis got influenced to do his music. And the list goes on. All those other guys, same thing. They were listening to gospel music and than R&B or jazz. Remember they said jazz was like
Jazz and blues.
forbidden music.
Jazz and blues.
That was forbidden. That's the devil's music.
Yeah, jazz and blues.
Mm-hmm. And who listen? When you think of jazz now these days, stereotypically, if someone younger thinks of jazz, who do you think? What's the face of jazz they think it is?
White
Is it black?
people.
Exactly. Same thing with rock too. Look, you see, it's funny. Will that happen to hip hop? I don't know. Maybe it's changing. It's funny. What else heroes are there? There's a lot of heroes. Man. There's a lot of heroes. I know one is Marcus Garvey for me. They'll never talk about him. They don't want to talk about Marcus Garvey, man, because Marcus Garvey was preaching or talking about Black Power, and what Black Power is independence.
Activist, publisher, journalist, entrepreneur.
He's a journalist, yeah.
He was the founder of the first president general of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities.
Businessman. He communicates. You see, like us, like a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a podcast news. He had his own. Listen to that. His own news media company. So Marcus Garvey is a popular black hero. So if you want to be inspired to do like journalism, you through like a black experience, Marcus Garvey's one. He had a printing press.
Mm-hmm.
If you read about it, he was doing media a long time ago. What was it called again? His newspaper. How could was it the Black Star Liner?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. See,
the people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without the roots.
Yeah, man. Marcus Garvey went to Harlem from Jamaica. He brought the Harlem Renaissance. You see that Harlem Renaissance before Malcolm X, right? It was Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey. Malcolm X's father was a Garveyite. You know that? You know that? Malcolm X's father would go to Marcus Garvey's his events. He was a Garveyite, and that's one reason he got killed. Malcolm X's father. So Malcolm X, even the Nation of Islam, right? They got influence. I don't know if they want to admit, but they got influence from Marcus Garvey because Nation of Islam was around, right? But it wasn't big like the Garveyites in the 20s, the 30s, right? The 20s, the 30s, even up to I think the 40s. Some of the 40s. Garvey was around, but they locked him up in America, and after they deported him, and then he went to England, and then he disappeared. No one knows when he died or how he died. They just say he died.
Well, he said he died in 1940 in London, United Kingdom.
1940, they say he died?
Yeah.
See? Holy shit. And they don't know how he died, though.
I'm not sure.
Mystery. They don't know how he died. He was born 1887. 1887. I was almost right. I was going to say 1888. And after he died in the 40s, like 1940, that's what they claim he died.
His death of age 52 died on 9th. Complications brought by 2 strokes due to World War II travel restrictions. He was originally buried in St. Mary's Roman Catholic Church.
Oh, there's travel restrictions.
Yeah.
Travel restrictions because of the war. What's going on? See? Marcus Garvey, they don't really, they'll never do a movie on him. Like a new movie.
He influenced the nations and Nation of Islam, Black Power movement, and Rasta improved the movement.
Yeah, a whole bunch of black movements. Marcus Garvey influenced a whole bunch. He influenced the Rastafari. He influenced even the 5%. All of them.
19 and was way promote trade but was transport passengers to Africa. He believed it would also serve an important tangible sign of black success. However, shipping company eventually failed due to expensive repairs and mismanagement and corruption.
You know, they charged him with tax evasion. That's why they wanted to get him. And it was that what's his name? The FBI. It's the FBI, man. The notorious FBI tried to take down Marcus Garvey.
So here we go. Why did he get deported? While Marcus Garvey's views were unorthodox for the time, his influence ultimately declined when he began engage questionable businesses dealings to fund his various enterprises. He was indicted for mail fraud. 1922,
not tax evasion, mail fraud.
5-year prison term, being deported in 1927.
So not tax evasion, mail fraud. They had to get him on something. Yeah. They couldn't really get him on nothing. Listen how they get him, mail fraud. So it took them a long time to figure out something to prosecute him. They had to get him on something, mail fraud. That's how they got him. Holy. And they locked him up, and then they deported him right back to Jamaica. And then he left and went to England, I'm guessing. That's what he done. Yeah, Marcus Garvey, I don't know if they're ever going to do a new movie on him, or will they do a movie on him, but they need to do a movie. Someone should do a movie on him, because he's the one who influenced a lot of black leaders, but he don't get no recognition, the right recognition. He influenced plenty of black leaders. Red, black, and green, Marcus Garvey. Red, black, and green, I say, is Marcus Garvey. Don't forget that. So when people are putting up that flag, it's Marcus Garvey. I'm sure most black people who put up that flag know. Yeah, man. There's plenty of history people don't even know, man.
Too much. Way too much.
I know a lot of the traffic light is invented by someone black. The cell phone. The cell phone is created what we use by black, right? I think the light bulb too.
Traffic.
The traffic light. Look, yo, a lot of the big things is invented by black, and part of it, the reason was slavery. They had to find certain ways how to survive. You know what I mean? So they made created things, how to survive a certain way. Because it wasn't given all these things from the master. The master wasn't given all his stuff for the slave to live like him. So they had to create it down to the way they eat. That's why there's a certain way, for example, black.
Top 10 inventors by black inventors. Mailbox, 1891, Philip Downing. 2, traffic light, 1922, Garnet Morgan. Automatic gear shift, 1932, Richard Spikes. Closed wire, 1892, George T. Sampson. 5, automatic elevator doors, 1887.
What? Some big things.
Alexander Miles. Folding chairs, John Purdy.
Holy shit. That's some big things right there, right? That's like a lot of stuff people need to use every day.
Gas heating furnace, 1919, Alice H. Parker.
The heat, of course.
Golf TV, 1899, George Grant.
The heater, though. Guess what?
Modern toilet, 1872, Thomas Elkins.
Modern toilet, see? Yeah? The toilet where you have to go shit.
Yep. Home security systems, 1966, Mary Van Britton Brown.
A woman. Shit.
Brown, along with her husband, Alex Brown, an electrician, invented the first home security system in 1966, solution to a high crime rate they experienced in neighborhood of Queens, New York. Her invention used 3 peepholes to help her see through the door, a camera that could just from each people microphone system that allows her to communicate with visitors, and a remote control that allows her to unattach the door, and button that would contact the police if necessary. Her invention paved the way of modern video monitoring, remote control locks, push button alarms, instant messaging to security
building stuff, yeah.
Communication.
You must became rich off of that.
Pacemaker, 1964. Potato chips, 1853. Thermostat, 1830. By Frederick Germain.
These are all very important things.
Super Soaker, 1990.
Yeah, I heard
Lone
that's popular.
Touch
That's popular.
tone telephone, Dr. Shirley Anders, Jackson, 1987.
What do you mean, the touchstone? The phone. Oh, I see what it means. Black. Really that.
Touch tone phone.
Yeah. See? Damn. That's your cell phone.
Like, paved the way, fiber optic cable, caller ID, portable fax, and touch tone phones.
Shit.
This is all black inventors.
Most of all those stuff is what the world needs. You need all those
everyday life, what we be using.
You need all those things. And you know what I noticed? A lot of the inventions, what you're talking about for the black inventors, right?
Yeah.
It looks like they had to make that out of survival, like the heat. Like black people live in cold climates. They probably didn't like that when they moved to like from the south, for example, to the north. And they say, yo, we gotta need some heat here. So they probably made up that out of survival. Even the toilet too. Remember, slaves had to clean, or they're the maids and whatever. They had to clean after the master, right? Think of it. You had to make a better way for you to use the washroom, because part of that is probably out of slavery. Let me be straight up. What year was that toilet created?
I have to go back.
See, it's interesting when you find out that time. You know.
Toilet. Let me see.
Because in the islands they don't use toilet like certain places still.
It was made 1872 in
1872.
Thomas Elkins, Commodore, which essentially a toilet that featured a mirror, book rack, washstand table, and easy chair.
And check this. That's 12 or 10 years after slavery was abolished. So you know what that shows me? This is an invention made out of a slavery. When black people, when their masters had to go shit and piss, if it was a bucket, they had to
go and pick it up.
So,
they're like, fuck this. Something for them not to do that anymore.
Yeah, that a lot of these inventions was made out of the struggle of slavery, guy. So that's why. And there's some more what you read when you're reading it. So, oh, that looks kind of like it was because they didn't wanted to make the job more easier. You get what I mean? For example, you said the light, right? You said the light bulb. Yeah, they had to use the fire before, the oil, the oil to the gas. What you're saying to make to make the light. So you're going outside working. Who's working outside in the dark? Slaves back then. So if the light goes out, right, get tired of that. Made it some way somehow made up the light bulb, man. They made up that light. They made the light, brought the light. There's more. See?
American chef who guided was made a culinary bakehouse in New York City. Local says that the summer of 1853, his invention of the potato chips was a result of returned dinner. After an unhappy customer returned their potatoes to the chef, saying they were too thick, Speck then sliced the potato thin, deep fried them, and returned them to the customer. Their crisp soon became an instant hit and quickly became one of the world's biggest snacks. So that was made because, all right, check this out. You're a chef and you got pissed. Guy say, yo, I like them potatoes and too thick. You say, all right then. You gotta cut them up thinner, Friday sitting and give it back the same friggin' potatoes. Oh yeah, man, I love them. All right. You know what I mean? That's what happened. If an unhappy customer returning the potato chips, the chef saying they were too thick. Spec then slice the potatoes, them deep fry them and return them to the customer. Return them sitting one day customer didn't want, you know.
Yeah. It became a hit. That's what happens, man.
And then after it was called Crisps. Soon became an instant hit. Became one of the world's biggest snacks. Potato chips.
Even like the taxi service, it was one of the first. The taxi man was black. Black. What created the taxi service style? That's history. I know that. So because you think of it, who was the guy sitting with the horses for hours and hours and hours and hours, even in the rain? The slave. You watched, for example, now what's the movie with Jamie Foxx? But is that bloody movie, man? You know what I'm talking about. The Django. You notice most of the guys, the men who are, you know, riding the horses, bringing the carriage are all black most of the time. Yeah.
Black History Month. Thornton Lucy Blackburn created Toronto's first taxi.
See that? That's in Toronto.
City's first taxi.
That's Toronto. See?
Thornton Blackburn to Uber, a brief varied history of Toronto taxis. A few years after he arrived in city, 1837, Blackburn started what would become Toronto's first taxi service.
1837. Shit. 1837. That's before it was even abolished. Slavery wasn't abolished in America. 1837. Slavery was abolished 1860, I think, 1863 or something like that, or 1860.
Ruth E. Blackburn, freedom seekers of anti-slavery. Thornton, born c. 1812 in Massaville, Kentucky, died in 1890 in Toronto.
1890 he died.
Possibly, what? 1803, possibly in the West Indies, died in 1895.
They say he died in 1895. Oh, I see. And he started that business 1838. 1838. So he lived. So he created a service other people copied after. So when he was doing that, I don't know how long he was doing that, but just say he was doing that for 10 years or even 15 years. 1838. Think of 1838. So maybe until 1850 something, maybe. Right before slavery, maybe a little bit before or when slavery was abolished in America, that's when he probably started to stop. You get what I mean? Or he was still doing it a little bit, but remember, you say he died 1895. So that means he could have still been doing his service for maybe even 20 years, just say. But the point is, people copied him after. After when they seen that, they said, that's a good idea. And
anything what they do is a good idea.
So real black history is more than just slavery, even though you're going to talk about slavery because it was for
like life.
Yeah, it's history. It's world history. It shouldn't even be. It should be
civilization.
Yeah, because they should just have a World History Month. Talk about World History Month because when they're talking about black history, you have to it's European history and it's a lot of people's history.
If certain things weren't forced, would it be? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or would it take longer?
It's true. Because when they talk, this is the thing about it, man. When they're talking about black history, it's not just black history. The reason we say it's world history because for example, a lot of people in Europe, most of Europe was involved in the whole like if you want to talk about slavery, is most of all of Europe. So it would be involved European history too.
Yeah, well, they're not really proud of it, of that part because, continue, man. But when we learn, listen, I mean, it bad enough they already put us in chains, burn us, do all sorts of shit. But they want yam us like fucking cannibals, no?
Tell me about that part, because there's history. I'm gonna get to that part. There's secret societies you hear talking about all like some sick shit like that.
And
so
you know what?
where did you read that part?
Come to think of it, it could be still happening today, because guess what? A lot of black people, mostly in America, right?
Yeah.
They just disappear.
Yeah. And remember people under the
You
stairs?
know what I mean? Like, and I'm not talking about murders and stuff like that. I mean, I talk about they just disappear.
Remember that movie, People Under the Stairs?
And
For
that
example?
that other movie what came out recently, what is it called? I forget what that black guy.
I know you're talking about what the brothers Keel and Peele done.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, I said like you're right, like people under the stairs, they're missing. So that part of the history, you know, what did you hear about that? Cannibalism.
Well, they believe said because they see. All right, I'm just gonna say what it is, because you know, physique of the black man, the woman, you know what I mean, like athletic with all that. Look, we master all sports and everything like that, right? And everything. So they probably wonder what makes them what. You know what? Maybe if we cook them up, eat them up, maybe we'll be like them.
Isn't that like Jeffrey Dahmer in the future? That sounds like Jeffrey Dahmer.
You get what I'm saying? You are what you eat, right? So
that's what Jeffrey Dahmer he was doing too.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, I'm interested to find out though, which country, like, was it all of them, or was it a certain place?
I don't even look into that, but that's what I heard. So some into fact,
so
not what I heard.
So that's where the serial killer. So is it fair to say this? We're going scientific. I'm getting down to earth now. No, these type of, just say, I know there's woman and man, but these type of people who were eating these Africans, right? Is it fair to say it's in their DNA that up until these recent times, the bloodline of these people are still doing the same thing to this day? Like Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer.
Man.
You know he ate people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna have to say.
Don't know.
I'm gonna have to say. Jeffrey Dahmer. That's all you have to say. He was eating people. I'll have to say Jeffrey Dahmer was eating people. And it was black people he was eating the most. So when you're reading about that history, it's that same type of hunger those people have. Jeffrey Dahmer has. He remember people want to say, oh, you're making an excuse for him. But if people are saying they're born a certain way, why can't someone be saying they're born a killer? Eh? It's controversial, but listen, why did he had a hunger for it? And I heard we've seen other stories too. He's not the first serial killers who eat people, man. They become cannibals.
Yeah, man.
So that part, where did you get that part? Which part of history did you hear that though? When you're reading that, it had to be some kind of like telling where that comes from.
I was seeing it on IG. You know, one of the activists was talking about.
Oh, I see what you mean. So it could be a certain part of Europe what was into that, was into eating people. I don't know which country, but they're into eating people. Remember, if I was to get really deep about this slavery thing, what people don't understand, that these slave masters didn't care about black people. They didn't look on black people as humans.
No, they looked at stock.
So they would kill with no mercy. Like they'll kill babies. Think of it. They would kill babies.
Did you see Amistad?
No, I seen that long time ago, but I know that they would kill babies. The stories
that's based off the truth.
Yeah. Okay. Throw people off of ships.
Yeah.
If they look sick.
And they
into the shark's mouth.
They didn't care if it was babies or whatever.
No mercy. So we getting PG version sometime on Hollywood. They would, like what I heard.
Yeah, there's still more. The Rosewood massacre.
Okay, that's the future. That's even going to reach. That's more modern times. Well, I'm going before
No, the
before they
Rosewood
even reached.
massacre. No, the Rosewood massacre happened after
Yeah,
a
that's a
massacre.
yeah. That's yeah. Yeah, and that happened more. There's more cases like that. Yo, when you look up some documentaries about the South and the Ku Klux Klan and some of these cases of people getting killed and hanged, yo, they were getting away. Like, you go to court, it don't make no sense. You go to court, no matter
Yeah,
what, you're not gonna win. You'll never win, even if the case look, if they were caught on camera, you still wouldn't win against
yeah.
them.
Monkey court,
It was
kangaroo
monkey
court.
court.
Yeah.
And that's why that's why Martin Luther King had to go down to the South and do all those protests because of the system. That's why Martin Luther King had to go down there and do his thing, because people were getting murdered, people were getting killed, and
Because
they were getting off.
there wasn't no law really for them, especially in the South. No justice.
No justice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why things had to happen certain ways. But like I
Mm-hmm.
said, slavery, if people want to know what slavery was, it wasn't just black people being butlers and serving the master and help build up America and digging and farming and cleaning up houses. Before, for them to control black people or try to control black people, they had to murder and kill and put the fear into the black woman and man's head. That's Willie Lynch.
That's why they had to. Okay, well, that's why. Okay, well, they have to say what it is. Well, that's why when the Jamaicans now, when it comes to the slavery, you know, they did what they did in front of the big strong ones. They said, "Yo, we're gonna mastrate them," you know, show them, say we're in charge by fucking them in front of everybody. You get what I mean? So that's why they don't like saying motherfucker and all them thing there. You know what I'm saying?
Deep Down to Earth podcast.
Don't know. So what?
Man.
All right. Then this is the Rastafari Samurai. I never leave you, Johnny. I approve this message nationwide. You don't know. Subscribe. You don't know. Down to Earth. D2E. Pop, pop, pop. Salute.